Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about virtual and pure virtual functions in C++. So first of all, what is virtual function? A C++ virtual function is a member function in the base class that you redefine in a derived class. It is declared using the virtual keyword. It is used to tell the compiler to perform dynamic linkage or late binding on the function. A virtual is a keyword preceding the normal declaration of a function. When the function is made virtual, C++ determines which function is to be invoked at the runtime based on the type of the object pointed by the base class pointer. Now there are some rules for virtual functions. Virtual functions cannot be static. A virtual function can be a friend function of another class. Virtual functions should be accessed using pointer or reference of base class type to achieve runtime polymorphism. A class may have virtual destructor, but it cannot have a virtual constructor. Now there are some limitations of virtual functions. First is slower. The function's call takes slightly longer due to the virtual mechanism and makes it more difficult for the compiler to optimize because it does not know exactly which function is going to be called at compile time. Second is difficult to debug. In a complex system, virtual functions can make it a little more difficult to figure out where a function is being called from. Now what is pure virtual functions? A virtual function is not used for performing any task. It only serves as a placeholder. When the function has no definition, such function is known as do-nothing functions. The do-nothing functions is known as pure virtual functions. A pure virtual function is a function declared in the base class that has no definition relative to the base class. The main objective of the base class is to provide the traits to the derived class and to create the base pointer used for achieving the runtime polymorphism. It can be defined as virtual void display equals to 0. Now the difference between virtual functions and pure virtual functions. A virtual function is a member function of base class which can be redefined by derived class, whereas a pure virtual function is a member function of base class whose only declaration is provided in base class and should be defined in derived class, otherwise derived class also becomes abstract. Second is classes having virtual functions are not abstract, whereas base class containing pure virtual functions become abstracts. Syntax for virtual functions is virtual function type, function name, parenthesis and the function body. Syntax for pure virtual function is virtual function type, function name, open and close parenthesis and equals to 0 and is terminated by semicolon. In virtual functions, definition is given in base class, and in pure virtual functions, no definition is given in base class. Base class having virtual functions can be instantiated, that is, its object can be made. Whereas base class having pure virtual functions become abstract, that is, it cannot be instantiated. All derived class may or may not redefine virtual functions of a base class, whereas all derived class must redefine pure virtual functions of base class, otherwise derived class also becomes abstract just like base class. Now there is a simple C++ program, #include IOStream. We will define a class A, int x equals to 5, and in public we will define a function called void display. And in public we will define a function called void display, parenthesis closed. Now there is another class called B which is inherited by class A, int y equals to 10, and in public we will again declare a function called void display. Now in the main function we will define a object A and an object B. A is equals to and B, return 0, and the output of this program is value of x is 5. Now a program of virtual function #include IOStream using namespace std, and in public we will define a function called void display, and the output of this function is base class is invoked. And in class B we will again define a function called void display in public. In this function the output will be derived class is invoked, and in main function we declare a pointer of base class and object of derived class. A is equals to and B, and the output of this program is derived class is invoked. Now program for pure virtual functions #include IOStream using namespace std class base, and in public we will define a function called virtual void show equals to 0, and in public we will again create a function called void show, and in this function the output will be derived class is derived from the base class, and in main function we again declare a base b derived d, bptr equals to and d, and bptr equals to and d return 0, and the output of this program is derived class is derived from the base class. In the given example, the base class contains the pure virtual function. Therefore, the base class is an abstract base class. We cannot create the object of the base.